Alright, welcome back everyone to the Lost Ark Zero to Hero series. As you can see from the title of this video, I'm putting an end to this video series. I'm no longer making any more videos about it. And the reason why is because, excuse me, the Casaros raid is right around the corner and I just don't have much time to keep up with it. With, work stuff, IRL stuff, and Casaros stuff. I just don't have much time to put into this account anymore. So this will be the last video I make about it. This will cover week 7 and week 8 since I did not upload a week 7 video. Sorry, my throat's acting up. I'll try to include some tips here and there on what to do kind of like after this series ends for those of you that are curious and are following along. So we'll go ahead and get right into it here. If you kept up with last week's video, we did drop a barricade book from the Chaos Dungeon, so we claimed the gold from that. And then we have our weekly hell keys as usual. And then I went to the Mogoko shop, bought out the event shop stuff. Y'all should know how it goes by now. Every week, the shop refreshes. You just buy out what you need or just buy it all out if you have enough tokens. I kept up on my Stronghold, and the reason why is because of this roster storage expansion here. Every few levels of your Stronghold, you'll be able to unlock a research for more roster storage, which is pretty important because the game shoves a lot of stuff at you, like just free stuff for like that you can use on your entire roster. And you typically want to put that in your roster storage. So you want to keep up with your Stronghold so you can unlock this stuff and research it. You see how these are locked out for the second tab here. These all get unlocked at a certain Stronghold level when you just research to unlock these lines here that are locked, right? So again, this is week 7. So I claimed the raid supply chest from the Curzon All-Out War event, I guess. So it gave me 2 Chaos Dungeons and 2 Resid Pots. And I went ahead and, of course, ran those Chaos Dungeons. And we actually got pretty lucky here. I'll show you in a second. We did our weeklies, we did our dailies, usual stuff here. With this Chaos Dungeon, in a single Chaos Dungeon, I got a 20,000 gold chest here. And you'll see I dropped another one in that same Chaos Dungeon for another 20,000 gold. The odds of this is like really low. I've never had this happen on my main roster ever. So this is pretty insane. So 40,000 gold from just one Chaos Dungeon, that's a pretty big win there. And then we tried just some Karma taps. Only had 1 Destiny Stone. So, of course, that failed, as you can see here. Now, if you're on a new account like I am, or like a returning player with not that many high-level characters in Tier 4, you're going to be locked by Destiny Stones for quite a bit. So this is going to be, this Karma system for Tier 4 Brashazas is going to be a little bit of a long system, and I hope that Smilegate with the lower on Winter addresses this and makes some sort of catch-up mechanic for this system. At least I hope so, because it's kind of outdated at this point, and it's just kind of a bummer to wait so long. But I went ahead and bought out the Destiny Stones from the Revelation shop, and I kept going, but obviously I failed all those attempts too. And if you saw last week's video, you would know that I bought a single high line for my accessories. It boosted my combat power by quite a bit, because the accessories that the Express event gives you is not that good. But I was missing necklace. I wasn't able to afford necklace that week. Just the 2 rings and 2 earrings, right? So I went ahead and bought necklace here, but I'm out of Phaons. So I went to the event shop. I bought out 95 blue crystals. I claimed that. And then I used the search bar at the top right here to search for Phaon. And then I bought some Phaons to make up for the difference so I can buy the necklace. And I bought the second one because it had max HP on it, which is better than the other one that was on the market. So we equip that, and that makes our combat power, when we go to our raid presets, 1215, which is pretty good. And just to show you here, if you don't have a legendary skin, I did see some comments in my other videos that, hey, I don't have the legendary skin anymore. It's not in my product inventory. And that's because the legendary skin was a limited time thing. I think it's stupid to be limited time in my opinion, but if you take it off, if you don't have a legendary skin, you'd be at 1169 combat power, at least for me at this item level. And if you were to go ahead and put this on, because it does give you like percentage of like raw stats, your combat power then goes up to 1215. So it's about 100 combat point difference, something like that. And then I did some elixirs here, and I got pretty lucky, and I got a 5-5 on critical and weapon power. So that knocks out my 5-5 helmet there. I do Elysian every week because there's a weekly quest, quick, easy weekly quest that gives you Una tokens and shards. You might as well do it. It's one of the easiest and quickest weekly quests to do. And then I did my hell keys here. The first chest, we got special honing taps. The rest are garbage. We obviously take that. That's a W. The second key, I got an Altar of Hell again. I've never gotten it back to back before, so that was cool. So we put in our last blue key here, and it ended up being a legendary. So we kind of evened it out a little bit. Legendary key and then a gray key, right? So we're doing our gray key right now, and obviously we didn't get that far because there's only 3 descents. So I picked up the level 2 fusion material chest. That's all there really is to pick up that's good from our options here. The legendary key, there's honing support, legacy material, and bracelet. Now, I was decided between honing support and bracelet. I ultimately picked bracelet because if I get a really good bracelet, my combat power kind of skyrockets a little bit, right? So we got 70 bracelets out of that. And as you can expect, I didn't get shit. I cut every single one of these that had at least strength vitality on it as the fixed bonuses or one of my combat stats, but I didn't get anything. It was a bummer. So it is what it is. This one's special honing taps. Ultimately, all we were able to do was just to get clubs to 17. That was pretty good. And now we're 1685, and our combat power is 1224. And then my friend, I just wanted to, reason why I showed this on video is because the default build that the game gives you is honestly not that good for DPS Valkyrie. I didn't really look at Lost Ark Nexus that much. I was kind of too lazy to. So my friend sent me over a build that he said is pretty damn good. He said probably the best build for DPS Valkyrie. This is what I'm running. In the pinned comment below, I'll leave a link to my character you can look at. So you can see what build I'm running and copy it if you want to if you're DPS Valkyrie. But I applied to a random behemoth lobby right away after I changed my build because I wanted to test it out, see how good it is. And honestly, it's pretty good. That conviction judgment proc and just it feels like it's more CPM on your X ability. So then I tried to apply to Mortem, and that did not go well. Keep in mind, this is on a Monday, about Monday night for me, Monday morning for EU. And I just couldn't get to a Mortem to save my life. I went to the solo mode shop and I bought out the Hellfire Keystones from Aegir and the rest of the materials because you can transfer the Aegir materials, the Hellfire Keystones, into Destiny Stones. And with Destiny Stones, you can keep tapping your karma as long as you have enough gold, right? So I went to Enlightenment Tree, I tapped a little bit more. I did succeed one, but then I failed the rest. That's okay. But yeah, I saw this, like I kept getting denied from Mortem, and I was almost about to pull my fucking hair out. And you're probably thinking, why don't you make your own lobby? Trust me, I'm going to be doing that here soon. You'll see how that goes. I applied to an Aegir, and I got accepted, which is pretty nice. I don't have much worry about Aegir. And somehow I got Cruel Fighter, highest DPS in the lobby. I don't know how that happens, since I'm a support main. I haven't played DPS in like 2 years, but it's Aegir, who gives a fuck. Yeah, so I took my Aegir materials, I transferred them, to Destiny Stones. We kept on tapping karma. We succeeded, and then we go down a rabbit hole of keep failing. I've never been this unlucky with karma. This is actually diabolical. We're combat power 1228, not too bad. This is when I decided to make my own Mortem lobby. And this is where this week gets a bit interesting. I sat here for a long time. Eventually the lobby filled, and I'm just gonna let the video just speak for itself. Just go ahead and watch this. Look at the berserk timer. Now, I'm the only person in this lobby doing over 100 mil DPS. I asked for a dark. If you look at the debuff bar, no one's darking. Don't know why. I'm out of darks myself. I'm out of HP pots. I'm out of atropines. I'm just going as hard as I can. 4 second, 3 second, 2 second, and the boss enrages. I have never, ever seen this boss enrage. In normal mode. In hard mode, I have. Not in normal mode. So, of course, I'm stuck in gate 3, looking for 2 DPS. It never fills. I think this is on a Tuesday or a Monday. So ultimately, I was jailed in Mortem, and I couldn't get the gate 3 clear for week 7. It is what it is. I just found it to be interesting because you have revives. Mortem gate 3 has like no mechanics. You're just dodging stuff, and somehow people die. I don't understand. So I'm not sure. Oh yeah, this is the following week. This is next week. So this is week 8, the week we're in right now. I kept getting denied from Mortem normal mode. I got accepted into a lobby, but this lobby ultimately boomed, so I made my own lobby. And this lobby was a lot more promising. Um, don't don't ask why there's a ball here. I don't know why, I forgot. But yeah, we cleared this no problem. There was a little bit of shenanigans here or there. It's not like the best party for sure, but I mean, I will take a clear. I'm not gonna complain about that. So we cleared it, got it done. I did my hell keys for week 8. I got Destruction Guardian on the first key. And then the second key, what did I get here? Fusion Material or Bracelet. I went with Bracelet because I have no reason to hone right now. So I went with Bracelet, and I didn't cut any good bracelets. I just, yeah. I don't know what I got for my third key. I forgot to record it, but it wasn't anything good. So this is me trying to look for a Brawl lobby. I either got denied or there are Makokos already in the lobby. So I went onto my alt character and I did the tier 4 story, the North Curzon story. Now why did I do this? I did this because it gives me roster level. And roster level is the only thing that's really holding me back from getting into lobbies like quickly. Other than the fact that I don't have a recent raid title, like Mortem raid title, like Abyssal Punisher. I don't have that because I haven't cleared Mortem 10 times on this account. So the only thing that's holding me back besides that is my roster level and my Stronghold level. Stronghold level is time gated. Roster level is also time gated, but there is a strategy to expedite it, and I'll show that here in a second. So open up card packs. I did some Stronghold stuff, and then I just logged out for the night, I believe. I got pretty tired. We did some dispatch here, and I think we just called it a night after I did like a chaos dungeon or something. Yeah, after this chaos dungeon, I called it a night. I was pretty late. This is the next day on week 8. I tried to make an Aegir lobby. It did fill. We had some juicers in this lobby, which is pretty nice. Yeah, we cleared that no problem, obviously. Aegir's pretty much a joke. Pretty easy raid. Some don't like it. I actually like it because of how easy it is. You kind of just turn your brain off. You smack the boss dies. You get 30,000 gold. Pretty nice. So I transferred my Destiny Stones from Aegir materials, and I finally completed rank 5, but rank 6 I'm missing the Broshaza material, the Shadow of Karma, I think. So I tried to get to a Brawl lobby. This is my last raid for week 8, and I tried to make a lobby, but it's just way too early. I did not think about the time zone difference when I made an EU account. I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal, but it is apparently. It just didn't fill. So this is on a Wednesday, by the way. This is the day of reset. So I went with Elixirs here, did some Elixirs while I was waiting, and I got another 5/5 boss damage and strength. And as you can see here, I have 5/5 on every single piece except my gloves. So I'm almost done with Elixirs permanently for this character, and my combat power is now 1233. So while I was waiting, I kept resetting on Transcendence to get max Transcendence on all my gear. This doesn't really increase your combat power that much. It just looks nice. And the reason why it looks nice is because it's shining yellow. Smilegate knew what they were doing when they made this combat power UI. It's all yellow, so it looks nicer, looks more neat. So after a while, this lobby did not fill, so I left the party. And then I decided to do Chaos Dungeon on my alt character to get that knocked out. And this is when I kind of thought of something. This is an old strategy that nobody does anymore. But what you could do to expedite your roster level, which is important if you have a low roster level, is to make a bunch of new characters and just complete tier 1 tower, then delete that character, wait 24 hours to delete it, and then rinse and repeat. You could do this an infinite amount of times. As long as you have 600 gold per character as a deposit and some material boxes laying around. I'll show you in a second. So I made a character. I decided on Deathblade. You can't knowledge transfer right away when you get into the game. You have to do the tutorial first, which takes about 3 to 4 minutes. Once you do the tutorial, you can knowledge transfer. As you can see here, it costs 600 gold. It gives you a full set of gear and accessories. So I went ahead and did my skills here. I set them all up. In mind of the tower, I basically just did the Chaos Dungeon build that Deathblade has. And I started honing because a brand new character that's knowledge transfer cannot do all 20 floors of the tower. You need like item level 700 or something, right? As you can see here, you run out of materials very quickly. One Chaos Dungeon is not enough. It barely gives you anything. So what you need is these 4 boxes. You need Guardian. You need the Leap Stones. Just a few of them. You need the red pouches for the red stones. Just a few of them. And Honor Shards, you also just need a few of them. Or the Harmony Shards, I should say. And that'll be enough to get to level 15 on everything. Now for the blue pouches, you need to open up 6 of them specifically. 6 blue pouches to hone all of your gear for the blue stones. And now what I did at that point, I hopped right into tier 1 tower and I knocked it out. Now I do have a notepad pulled up here. Let me just pause this real quick. I did document this. Basically for 600 gold, you get 170,000 roster XP. So you spend 600 gold, 170,000 roster XP. The time spent to do this is about 25 to 30 minutes per character. I set a timer and I timed it the moment that I was in Trixian to select my class. So 25 to 30 minutes per character for 170,000 roster XP. So that means that roughly you get about 340,000 roster XP per hour. If you were to go full DJ mode on this, you can boost up your roster level very quickly. So this is just showcasing you. You need about 4 shard boxes. You need 3 leapstone boxes. You need 6 blue pouches and about 2 or 3 red pouches. That is enough to get the character to item level 1100, which can blast through the tower no problem. So I did that on about 2 or 3 characters, and then after that I got bored. It got pretty boring, and I just wanted to knock out my last raid. So we went ahead, we went inside Broshaza. We killed her no problem. It was pretty easy. The only raid I seem to have trouble with is Mortem, but Brel and Aegir are no problem. And just to show you here, you delete the character, and then after 24 hours, you can fully delete it. So it's been 24 hours. You just type in the name of the character, you delete it, and then you just create the character and you rinse and repeat. I want to show this strategy to people because if you're a new or returning player and you know your main's at a good item level, right? It's at 1680 or 1690 and you don't want to go beyond that, there's no reason to, and you have some excess gold, you can use that to boost up your roster level. So that's just something to keep in mind. Just wanted to show you that there. And then the last tip here is going to be in regards to cards. So in case you don't know, within the card menu, there's a books tab, and within the books tab, you can look on the card book bonuses that give you swiftness or critical stat. In case you don't know, when you collect a certain amount of cards, a specific kind of card for certain book collection bonus, you get +2, +3, or +1 swiftness, critical, specialization, etc., etc. So I'm showing this to you because if you're a fresh account, you don't have all this. Some of these cards you're literally missing. You don't have them. And you also won't have enough card slots to read them either, which I'll show in a second. But what you could do here is you can track the card by clicking on this little button here that I'm showing on my cursor. You can track these cards to know which cards you need to complete the book bonus to get +3 critical, for example, with this book bonus here. So you'll track the cards like I did, you know, for the ones that you need. And then if you ran out of card slots, you can go to the Enhance tab, you can scroll down, and you can spend blue crystals to expand the card slots. Because you'll likely be out of card slots if you're on a fresh account, pretty quickly. So you expand your card slots, and then this is an inventory of just cards that I could not read because I did not have enough card slots, right, that I just bought. So I took all this stuff out, and just to show you here, the cards that are tracked, you could tell they're tracked because they have a little icon on them, right? So what I did was I prioritized my card slots by reading the ones that have the little icon on them. Now notice here, I'm at 783 critical and 647 swiftness, right? So I open up these cards, I read them. You know, once I'm done reading the ones that are tracked, that definitely have a book bonus attached to them, now I'm at 1786 critical and 648 swiftness, and my combat power actually went up 1 point because of that. So you definitely do want to work on this eventually because you were quite literally missing some combat stats because you don't have enough cards collected in the game or a certain kind of card, right? So you do want to make sure you work on that. And besides that, that's pretty much it. This is my roster level. I'm 124. My combat power is 1244. Item level 1685. This took about 8 weeks of casual play. And just in case you're curious, this account has 83.6 hours played on it across the span of 8 weeks. Now, I know a lot about the game. So what you can accomplish in 83 hours is different than what I can accomplish. I have raid knowledge, I have in-game knowledge, and I can't just forget that stuff. It's in my brain, I can't just forget it and unlearn it, right? So my experience is gonna be a little bit different from yours. But again, this video series is just to document the progression on a new account, just so you can kind of follow along and get an idea. So yeah, that's about it for this video series. For anyone sticking by, I do appreciate y'all watching. And I will see y'all in the next video I make. Peace.